What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm laughing because I cannot get this right. I'm not going to show you the bloopers, but there's been a lot of them. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Thurbers. My name is Brian. In the last episode, Tug teased that he's going to talk about what we can do with a snowfall, a fresh snowfall, and the tools that he uses this time of year. So I will let him get to that. I want to encourage you guys, though, to go to your hunting area, whether it be a small, tiny piece of property like we run here, or a larger piece of private property, or maybe even public ground. You can learn so much on public ground. Right now you can get out, especially in the snow, and find out where those deer are bedding. That's a huge thing, right? Bedding, where they bed. Maybe what they eat later on in the year. You're going to find pinch points, where they cross the creek, where they cross a fence, where they run down fence rows. All that kind of stuff is available to you now that's going to shorten the amount of time you have to spend on stand, right? That's what we want to do. We want to work year-round, be flat, so that when hunting season comes around, we are very, very prepared to go out and kill that buck or those does, whatever you're after. So get out to your hunting area, take a map with you, and maybe some pieces of string or something like that to mark areas that you can go back to this fall when you're going to go hang stands or look for trails, because they're not going to appear like they are now in October. You're not going to see those things with all the foliage on. It's going to look completely different out there. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get out to Tug, but get to your hunting area now. What's up, everybody? I'm Tug. And I know last time I teased that we were going to talk about snow and what it can do. You're probably like, duh, you're going to talk about tracks. Well, you're right. Tracks and beds, that's what you can find in the snow. And there's some other things. So how I use snow is I let it snow, I wait a couple days, then I go out. That kind of gives you a little bit of a pattern of what the deer are doing. If you go right out after a snowfall, you're going to get like single tracks. That may not mean much. If you wait too long, you're going to get too many tracks out there, tracks everywhere. That's not going to help you. So we're looking for pinch points. We're looking for holes in fences, creek crossings, saddles, all that sort of thing that you guys have heard about before. But what are you going to do with it this time of year? So I went out today, or not today, yesterday, and I mended a fence that I found because I saw that the deer were using that. Now, why do I mend the fence? Because, so we're looking at this property and it kind of goes like this, a little horseshoe around like that. So on the back side is a fence right here that goes all the way across. So what the snow taught me today, or a few days ago when I was out there, that there are two holes in the fence. One right here in the corner, and one about right here. We want all the deer to come through right here. So my stand is set up here, looking down at this hole in the fence. So what I did is I took a piece of old fencing that my parents had to put around trees, and I just mended this fence in this area and this area. Well, that should do it. I got a fence about 5-6 feet high, and I tied it off 3 places, one on each side, one on the bottom. So I also did the same thing down there. So we should be good to go. Now the deer have to come through one place to get it through this fence on this property. All this is high grass or brush or whatever you want to call it that the deer bed in. but they also come through this travel corridor right here. And before they had 3 options to come through. I want all the deer to come through this one hole in the fence. If they come through these 2, they have the option of going this way down the path, and I will never know that they're there. So I want every deer to come through here and up this little trail to where my food plot is. So I have about a 15-yard shot this way, and I have about a 15-yard shot that way. The second thing I want to talk about today is tools that I use this time of year. Now, most of you are not doing anything out in the deer woods this time of year. Big mistake in my opinion, because there's no mosquitoes, there's no ticks, there's no spiders, there's no leaves to contend with, there's no heat. Now is the perfect time to get out and tweak your hunting area. So I want to show you some simple tools that I use. One of my favorite tools is a very simple bow saw, and you can saw some pretty decent sized limbs with this. It's not going to do everything, but it is economical, and I'm trying to do my best not to price you guys out. So if I tell you you need a steel chainsaw, some of you are going to be like, now I'm priced out. I can't afford that. That's $300 or whatever. I can't do it. But you can afford to buy a bow saw, and on these small pieces of property, you can do just fine. I cut 3-inch stuff all the time with it. It probably kind of sucks if you're trying to make firewood, where you're chopping up logs. But if you just want to cut something down and drag it away, the bow saw is fine. This is one of my all-time favorite tools. You can do so much with a pair of pruners. I use these things all the time, and it's great once you have your trail pretty much groomed, pretty much the way you want it, where you're just going in every year and kind of tweaking your hunting area. These are great. If you have to start from scratch and it's a larger tract, you may have to get the weed whacker with the blade on it. So here's a question for you. If you can do something in your hunting area right now, like shut off certain pathways, like that fence we did back there, and it increases your odds 10% this fall of having a deer go right by your stand, is it worth it? That probably only took me a half an hour to do that. Hey, don't forget me. Next time you see me, I'll be poaching somebody's chili recipe off of YouTube. Whose will it be? You're gonna have to subscribe and hit that bell to find out.